Hey, Princess India here. I just wanted to share a quick little bit of inspo with you. So, Spirit led me to start decluttering my life. I utilized the Kamari method and I started with my closet because the whole little process starts with clothes. And I wanted to share the finished product with you guys. Literally, my closet has never looked like this, like in life. Like, I'm literally not kidding. But that also inspired me to declutter the rest of my life. And as I cleaned, I got so many spiritual epiphanies. It started a whole little purge. I cried and things, a lot of releasing going on, but I feel so much lighter. And I just wanted to inspire you guys to take that into consideration as we're going into the retrograde. It's a great time to clear out your life, get a jump start on your spring cleaning, and it's also an explanation for why you're only going to see my hands this month, because the rest of my house is a total mess. I love you. On to your March reading.
Energy. Hello there, Gemini. I just feel like I need to tell you that I'm a Gemini rising. So I'm sort of kind of included in the cool kids club. So we're doing things slightly different because in March, of course, we know, what is this, on the 7th, that we're going to be going into Mercury retrograde, and we are now under the energies of the pre-retrograde. So, trying to get my communication life together, so you may be having little issues with your technological communication type of stuff. But we're doing things a tad bit different. What I want to look at to get you guys focused on point, because of course we know the retrograde is a time for reflection, right? So we're going to be looking at the source of your discontent or unhappiness and the main challenge that you guys are going to be overcoming this month or during the retrograde, however you want to look at it. Then we're going to be looking at 3 areas of things you need to, I'm not going to say need to, because I won't tell you what you got to do, but 3 areas in which you can release things that would be conducive to your overall physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. And also looking at, lastly, what it is you guys would be making room for. So what you're making room to allow into your life and how you can do that as well. So we're going to jump right in because everything you need to know is in the description box below. So anyway, the main thing that is the source of discontent, we have the Empress. Interesting. This is challenged by the 3 of Wands. Okay, so what I would say is the main source of Gemini's unhappiness this month is the desire to, the first thing that came to me is be of use. I need to stop trying to filter how this stuff is coming to me and just say it. It's to be of use, to be, I don't want to necessarily say needed, but to be of service, to be helpful, right? So you very well could be, and seeing this challenge by the 3 of Wands, it very well could be a desire to step into your calling, to be just generally of service, to volunteer, to, almost be an addition to other people's lives or even your family, right? So with the 3 of Wands, I'm more or less seeing this kind of like, wow, and it's 2 3s, interesting. So it's more or less to me like, and this is going to sound weird, but I don't really feel like Gemini sees themselves as the Empress just yet. It's almost as if you're waiting on clearance or, a tip of the hat from Spirit. So it's almost kind of like maybe praying for it and waiting for a sign or something is kind of how I'm feeling it. Because, of course, if you look close at this card, it's like the chick who's chilling and they got the mailman. I don't necessarily feel that you guys are literally waiting for something. I feel like this is more spiritual to me. Because whenever I see 2 3s together, I think of like the triune of the divine and the triune of man. And I think of these 2 consorting together, especially since this is a major and a minor. So I'm seeing like, creation approaching the creator, petitioning for something and now waiting from, like your proverbial ships to come in, or waiting for a sign from God to give you the okay go to either give you clarity on wanting to align with this energy or how to go about doing such of a thing, right? So I feel like the discontent in reference to this is the waiting, and this is like, how can I say this? It's kind of like, okay, this is like, okay, I love how this is just relating to me. Literally a few minutes ago, I was talking to my homegirl, and I was telling her about something I was trying to like mull over, and it's like, the answer that I got from Spirit was like, almost like I can't even explain it. It's almost like you're stressed when you're trying to figure something out, but how the answer manifested to me was more or less like an eruption of serenity. So it's like I was trying to figure something out, and then suddenly I felt peaceful, and it's like the answer almost was like whispered to me. It's like, this is what that is. And it's like, oh, that's what that is, you know? So I feel like there's a tad bit of, you know, and I notice this is happening a lot, to say that this is the retrograde. A lot of people are kind of feeling like at the, not the finish line, but like the starting line, like you're ready to like take off running. But it's more or less like resting and knowing that it's going to come to you, and it may not come when you expect it or how you expect it, but it's coming nonetheless, right? But I feel like the whole unrest is in the fact that it hasn't manifested yet, or you're not knowing what steps to do going forward, right? So your challenge is going to be to find your happy place, to find your serenity, to find your peace, and trust in knowing that the answer will come even though it may not be here yet. So it's more or less having faith, knowing that, you know, you asked your angels, you know, you because you know the whole thing with will and all that good stuff. So it's more or less like, you know, you asked your angels, you petitioned Spirit, whatever it is that you did, you know, lit a candle, whatever. And now it's just waiting for the right time, right? So what it is that you want to release for your physical well-being is the Hermit reversed. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay, so with the Hermit upright, that's of course, you know, going into your little cave, getting your little intel and coming back out and sharing it with the world. What you want to release for your physical well-being is being cognizant of isolating oneself. Of course, we all need time alone. We all need self-care time. But especially like if you're waiting for a sign for this, and it's kind of having you thinking, well, maybe I need to pray harder, I need to read more, I need to light more candles, I need to take more spiritual baths on some stuff. It's like, relax. Like, you've done what you need to do. Now we're just waiting on divine timing. So for your physical well-being, it's like, don't isolate yourself thinking that there's more that you need to do to get what it is that you've asked for. It's like you've done enough, and now it's just time for you to wait, right? Now, how you do that? Releasing them burdens with the Ten of Wands. Thank you. Gemini, I'm liking how this is going. We're 7 minutes in, and I'm 4 cards down. This might be a 10-minute reading. Let me stop lying. Anyway, so how you release this is releasing the burden. It's like you're carrying unnecessary things on your back. You know what I mean? We can also look at this as the reverse of, if we look at this in a very 3D way, it could be being of service, showing up a lot for people, right? And, you know, the challenge being more or less a sense of, instead of trying to obtain this, and this is again that Emperor energy that I've been feeling with all the readings, it's like to be, dang, who is that? Was that Libra? Yeah, this is with Libra. It's like for them, they have the 10 of Pentacles here. So it's like their desire more or less is like, I want the 10 of Pentacles. For you, it would be like, I want to be the Empress, but I'm not the Empress. So maybe I need to work harder. I need to isolate myself more. I need to read more spiritual books. I need to meditate longer. Take more spiritual baths, light more candles, write more petitions, say more affirmations, listen to more, I don't know, frequency, music, whatever. But it's the thought of thinking that I need to invest more in order to receive. But it was never really about the investment or the effort. It brings that whole faith the size of a mustard seed type of thing. It's just the fact that it was in your heart, it was a desire, and you said, Spirit, I want this. That was enough. Like, there was no need for all of the excessiveness. And I feel like you guys have gone from the upright to the reverse of it being a temporary time. And it's kind of ironic because usually people would go into hermit mode going into the retrograde. But for you guys, I feel like it's time to come out. Because it's like you're overburdening yourself trying to do things too right, thinking you did something wrong and you haven't. So it's kind of relinquishing that heaviness. You know what I mean? And that's like, even if it's like in a job sense of thinking that you need to be more, do more, put in more effort, and it becoming cumbersome because you're overburdening yourself with unnecessary responsibilities. I know it's like I'm repeating myself, but the theme that I feel that needs to be driven home here is you've done enough. You know what I mean? It's like, I really feel like it's a lot of pressure you're putting on yourself, and the whole message here is Spirit wants you to know that you've done enough. Like, we know we are working on your behalf. Things are working out. We're in the retrograde. Chill out on some stuff, right? So what you need to release for your emotional well-being is the 5 of Wands in reverse. Okay, wonderful. I like with this little deck being in the reverse, it's like, it's already, okay, telling you what you need to release. Conflict. And this is something that we talked about with Leo. They had it in their physical space. It's like anything that has anything to do with, competition or arguments or discord or anything that's in that realm of just chaos, right? And especially if it's emotional. So kind of like that stirred up feeling that I was telling you guys of like feeling like you need to do more in order to do this. And it kind of goes to the epiphany that that I had today was how a lot of times with things, well, I guess instead of giving a whole like intro, the whole main thing is the realization I had today was for our big problems, like, I'll go to Spirit for big problems. Like when something's going on, it's like, oh, Spirit, give me clarity. But I realized today that I have a habit of, even with the most minute things, it could be something so simple that I'm trying to figure out, and I don't even bother acknowledging like Spirit with that, because I'm just like, this little minute human problem, I'm not going to bug Spirit with that, as if I could ever bug Spirit or an angel or anything. It's like the simplest things. Where are my car keys? These are things we can pray for, right? So I would make a mountain out of a molehill just because I wouldn't like stop and be like, Spirit, I really need help with this. Like, I'm kind of confused. I can't figure out how to put this together. You know what I mean? Can you help me? Something that simple. It's all you need to do. But I noticed that today, for minute things, I end up making them a bigger deal than they really need to be because I'm trying to figure it out on my own, right? So that's kind of like the vibe that I'm getting here. It's like this unrest, instead of just like, like consulting Spirit about it, it's like allowing it to cause this chaos inside. You know what I mean? Things going ape. It's being in your head and feeling all conflicted, like all 2 of Swords, like, and things of the sort. You know what I mean? So it's releasing that. It's like that inner conflict, that inner fight, that inner struggle, that exertion. You know what I mean? That trying to, it's almost like forcing something. I don't know how to say that. Because I'm seeing it like, not like putting a square in a circle, but it's almost like trying to put like a comforter in a shoebox. And that sounds crazy, but trying to put a comforter in a shoebox. It's like trying to fold it every which way to try to fit it in something. And it's like, it's not going to fit because the container isn't big enough to hold something that vast, right? So it's releasing that chaos within. Now, how? We have the 9 of Wands. And in this card, this is like preparing for battle, right? This is like saving up all of your resources and channeling all of your energy to give you that last push, but it's in the reverse. So again, it's like, chill out. It's like, there's no more fight. There's no more battle. There is no conflict. The only thing that's really required here now is trust and patience. That's it. It's like you've done all that you can do up to this point. There is no more sacrificing that one can do to make this happen any quicker. And then I stress again, especially with this being the retrograde. So it's like you really wouldn't want something to come through right now per se. You know what I mean? Because by the end of the retrograde, you might be looking at it like, what the heck is this? So now it's just like relinquishing the anxiousness and allowing yourself to step into, and I said this with another sign earlier, of manifesting through energy resonance. It's like with that trust, with that faith, with that knowing, that allows you to open yourself up to that Empress energy in spite of what your circumstances are. So allowing this emotion to consume you of what it's going to feel like. So whatever the Empress is symbolizing for you, it's allowing yourself to feel right now, here, today, what that's going to feel like. Start visualizing yourself walking in your calling, writing those books, speaking in front of people, starting your podcast, having your art show, hundreds of people showing up. Start visualizing that and allowing yourself to feel the emotions that are tied to whatever this represents for you. And the only thing you would be sacrificing is all of these negative emotions that are causing you unrest, right? And allowing that beauty to come in. That will manifest it quicker. So it's getting out of battle mode and stepping into receiving mode, right? So what you want to release, and that's for your emotional well-being. So for your spiritual well-being, what you want to release, we have the Two of Swords. In this deck, it's slightly different, but just like how I said, just that conflict and unrest, feeling like you're stuck, that stagnation, that indifference, that ambivalence. We can throw this in here too, of what needs to be released. And the meaning of this card in this deck is what we would want to insert. So it would almost double up with our how. It's more or less attuning with spirit. It's getting into that serene, peaceful place. Because if you look at the colors in this card, just that blue, it's peacefulness, right? Groundedness, and being grounded in the truth, your knowingness, in the still waters. It's like allowing, in this meditation time, in this connection time, allowing this too to be representative of balance. In this space is where we're attuning to this. So any ambivalence or indifference that we had, that is released through meditation, through reconnection with spirit, and allowing ourselves to experience serenity amidst chaos. So it's more or less to stop identifying with what you're seeing externally and to start identifying with what it is you want to see. You know what I mean? And then this is our how. Yeah, man, this is perfect. The Six of Pentacles. This is having everything that you need and a little bit of what you want. But it's more or less, now this being more external manifestation work, this is visualizing where it is that I want to be, right? It's experiencing that in the now, those emotions. Even more so, if you want something to manifest even quicker, give away what it is that you're calling in. If you're calling in more money, give away money, not all your money. But it's like, if I have everything that I need and a little bit of what I want, so I have a little bit of land yap, as we say, right? It's now engaging in exchange. It's like, I have, let me give to have not. So because I invested, I sowed a seed. Now I'm going to receive dharma, good karma, right? For the seed that I've sown. So another way to draw this in even more so is to give what you're looking for, even if it's love, being a listening ear, a support system, what have you, it's giving to someone that's in need because it's a statement to the universe that you have. And if you have, the universe is going to send to you what you're putting out. So I have money, so I'm giving money, so the universe is going to give me more money. But if I'm consistently saying or fixating on the have not, because that's a really important point here, this anxiety and this stress of I need to do more, that's a statement to the universe that I don't have, right? I don't have it. So what's going to get reflected to me is more have not. This is how I say that I have. I feel that I'm there. When I close my eyes and I see through my true vision, I see that I'm there. I'm acting like I'm there. So then you're there, right? Now, what are you making room for? So we're clearing out all this little neggy neg, right? Aligning with what we want. We have the Hanged Man reverse. So this is your answer. It's no longer being in this waiting. Now it's coming out. It's like your deliverance, you know? Because of course, when we look at it upright, you know, she's in her little yogi pose, you know, doing her little headstand and things. That's like a position of surrender. And if you turn it upright, what does it look like? Looks like she's jumping for joy, right? So this is freedom. So whatever it is that you're feeling here, whatever bondage you're feeling, it's almost like you guys are in a liaison phase, you know, like this liaison phase. And I feel like it's, you know, the whole Mercury retrograde thing. This is just a time for quiet reflection. And like I said, the visualization for what's like the blessing that's coming to you once this energy wraps up. This is like a last look and reflect at a life that you used to live of lack that no longer exists. So it's like once this phase is over with, this is what you're going to be existing in. And you can bring this in quicker with your power by experiencing it through visualization, you know, and by feeling it emotionally, your emotional manifestation, your energetic manifestation, you know. And then this is like affirmed by you acting on it. Like you doing this statement of giving what it is that you're looking for, that's an affirmation. That's you standing in your truth of saying you already have it. So you get to kind of cheat the system and experience your blessings. Like you get a preview of your blessings prior to their physical manifestation. That of which is going to happen because you're going to be lifted out of this. You know what I mean? You're going to be able to jump for joy. So it's coming in so many words. Then we have our how. Oh, look at that. You're making room for your deliverance, right? And how you experience this, how you make room for it. I'm seeing this a lot like this here with the King of Pentacles. For some of you, I really do feel like this is a calling. Because with the King of Pentacles, this is someone who's mastered something and now they share what it is that they've mastered. So going from like page, which would be like the apprentice, up to the master teacher. And it's now teaching other people how to do what you've done. You know what I mean? So that could, in so many words, looking at the Empress, right? This would more or less be about spiritual growth, helping people heal from emotional wounding or what have you. And it doesn't necessarily have to just be spiritual. This could be, because of course it's the King of Pentacles, it could be teaching people how to heal their finances, teaching people how to be financially abundant, and how you utilize these skills to manifest your financial abundance. And that's how you can be of service to others. You know what I mean? So this is more or less, I even look at it, I love how I have all of these college references. The place that Gemini is in right now is the equivalent of attending a university that only has one graduation a year. So they only have a May graduation, but you finished in December. So you have your degree and you finish, but you don't get to walk until May, right? So that's kind of like what I feel this as. It's like, you got the certificate, it's a done deal. It's just, we all can't see you, you know, do your Six of Wands sachet walk until May. Not saying that this is going to be all the way until May when this happens, but I'm saying proverbially speaking. But in so many words, Gemini, energetically, what it is that you're looking for is already here and it's coming to you. So the key is for you to get with the program and align with it visually and energetically, so that you can relinquish this burden that you're feeling by looking at the is not, as opposed to turning within and looking at the is. So all in all, to me, this is more or less a little spiritual growth lesson. It's like a wrap up of, you know, let's look at what we've done, take inventory of it, so we can take this wisdom and apply it to the next cycle, you know? So I'm going to go ahead and pull your oracles before I let you guys go. And I hope that that was in service to you. I hope that it gave you some clarity and some insight to your present circumstances. Whoa, that one clearly wanted to come out. I'm going to pick 3 cards for you. and then let y'all go. That one flipped. And lastly, from my deck of Universal Wisdom, one card for Gemini, please. Spirit, what do they need to know as their parting words going into this March, in this retrograde, please, Spirit? Ooh, clearly. All right, first card, your spirit animal, Emu. I like saying that. This is a good time to go on a new adventure. Is that the adventure into your mind? Your guided visualizations? They have tons of those on YouTube, you little emu. This is time to go on a new adventure. I really look at this, Gemini, as you coming to a place of saying it's already done. Like, say if you're, I don't know, trying to close on a house or something, start picking out your furniture and your paint colors. Go to Home Depot and get some color swatches and things, you know? All of that is that energy of drawing it in. Because I can assure you, with this Hanged Man reverse, once this retrograde is over, you will most certainly, without the shadow of a doubt, be walking into a new chapter in your life. One that's going to look vastly different than anything you've ever seen before. But you didn't hear that from me. Next, we have Inner Temple. Well, dagnabbit, son of a gun. Devotion. Tune into the portal of your heart. Yes, man, yes. Attune to those heart's desires, man. Allow yourself to experience it now. Call it in, Gemini. Call it in. Lastly, your universal wisdom. What would love do now? No other question is relevant. No other question is meaningful. No other question has any importance to your soul. Wow. And, you know, universal wisdom, love is synonymous with spirit, you know. Whenever you find yourself in a situation where you feel conflicted, you feel downtrodden, you don't know what to do, or you don't know what decision to do to move forward or how to handle something, always take a moment and ask yourself, what would love do now? You know, just take a moment and ask that. And whatever answer flutters up in your spirit, go with that. Whatever love would do in that moment, in that conflict, that's always going to give you the right answer, right? It's how you honor your soul, dagnabbit, son of a gun, I said. Well, Gemini, that has been your March 2019 reading. I love your freaking face, and I will see you sooner than later. Deuces.
Energy, about to get in and fuck up the industry.